Well, the question remains, is this the Astros that we are going to grow accustomed to see in 2024, or will water find its level? Today, the bats did not help as Arrighetti let a lot of runs across the plate in the third inning. We're going to talk about the things that happened in this game and maybe look ahead to how they can fix this going forward on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Buenos días, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On the Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. I hope that you find us on X at Eric Talk Stros. I hope you find the show at Locked On Astros. And we were super excited about Spencer Arrighetti's start today. And unfortunately, baseball is going to baseball sometimes, and a rookie is going to rookie sometimes, no matter what type of cool patch he wore on his sleeve. And we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts ready to keep your ride and die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home the big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Go to eBay. Guaranteed fit. Only available to U.S. customers. So, Brett, do you think there's eBay bullpen arms available or something that Dana Brown can go to or something like that?
No.
So where can you find you at, Brett?
You can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse at X, Instagram, and TikTok. Then you can find me at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram as well, and at Stros411 on Facebook. So, look, I'm always positive, always Stros, but I'm definitely having a hard time seeing the glass as half full right now. Going through some of these comments, we suck again. The golden era is over, folks. Sooner we accept it, the better our mental health will be. Yikes. Something has to change, or we need to move the team to Sacramento.
No, come on. Don't beat it. Don't make us the Oakland or Sacramento A's. Come on.
Hold on. Whoa, yeah, we can't keep telling ourselves it's too early in the season. Houston, we have a problem. And let's see what Mr. Corona says. Why does it feel like Astros pitchers are nibbling the strike zone? I barely see pitchers throw strikes. Look, I don't know. And look, of course, Kaylee, she's a faithful. The dynasty isn't over, LOL. So she's trying to be positive. Like I try to lead y'all to be positive. Look, we had a little experiment, and I'm not going to blame us because it's not like the Astros had one bad game. But if y'all caught us earlier, we did spaghetti for Arrighetti, and we cooked some spaghetti, and Eric cooked spaghetti with corn in it, and I'm not even going to expound on that.
Are we still on this? Really?
Yes,
let it go.
Let it go. No, you're the one. No, you're the one that put corn in the spaghetti, and I'm the one that said no. That is not an additive. This isn't meatloaf, anyways. But that's really like, was it 11-2 was the final score, right? 11-2. How many? Someone even mentioned it because I was going to mention this. 2 games, we've had 23 hits and we've only scored 5 runs. What is going on? Like, we're getting hits.
It's the Twilight Zone.
Capitalizing. Dude, go look at Facebook. The comments are hilarious. There's this one guy, and I always look for his comments because he's always mad at Kyle Tucker. And he's like, I'm tired of Kyle Tucker and his robotic straight arm swing. That's all he does is got this long swing, and he pops up every time. And he's so
in that country accent.
I'm assuming. So he wanted to send Kyle Tucker, Lance McCullers Jr., Alex Bregman, and I forget, he said someone else, and he goes, oh, and Joe Espada can join him too. A bunch of losers. God, people are so upset. I get it. I get it.
This
The
team is not
Royals,
used to losing.
well, I mean,
I mean, these fans are not used to losing.
I know, but last year at the 11 game mark, we were 4-7. It's not like we were beating the world up last year. Look, it is a depressing game. It is annoying. It is frustrating as a fan. And it sucks because the guy that came up, Blair, who came up, and Henley, you didn't expect him to come out and do much because he was really a stopgap, an emergency stopgap. No offense to him, but he traditionally walks people, and that's what he did. Arrighetti would not have come up had the situation with Framber Valdez not happened. I don't think Arrighetti was necessarily ready. No pun intended. Not trying to rhyme, but today he didn't have the stuff that Arrighetti is known for. But Eric, there's another guy, and we'll talk about him more later in the week. There is AJ Blueball literally has gotten moved up to AAA. He only pitched 4 innings this year in AA. And last year, between high A and AA, he had a phenomenal season. And they are jettisoning this guy through the minor leagues. Are we putting ourselves in a position where we're going to have more minor league arms and spin them early? Because you spin these guys early, we see what happens, and it's typically not a good thing.
The Astros have a pitching problem, and it was the fact that they let 200 innings go as free agents this year
100%.
in terms of Ryan Stanek, Hector Neris, then Maton, and one more guy I can't think of, one more reliever. But the Astros had one of the best bullpens last year. So they let 4 relievers go last year, over the offseason, and they replaced those 4 guys with Josh Hader. Josh Hader is good. He's struggling this year, but they definitely didn't address everything else. And so now you're trying to piece together patchwork, try to get that gorilla tape and go ahead and put it on a big, like a big dam that's about to explode. And you can't do it with some of these arms that are not major league ready, or just people that are just journeymen, just trying to make a living. And I'm all for giving guys a chance. But you basically gave up on Miguel. What's the guy? The guy that they DFA'd the other day to bring up Henley.
Yeah.
And then they went ahead and DFA'd the other guy, Hummel, that they just signed, claimed the other day. And I know he wasn't a pitcher, but basically Sueno went down. So you're recycling through these pitchers until one sticks, until the Gorilla Glue sticks. Or tape.
Well, here's the deal. Chandler Rome talked about that in his, and I think you're referencing his Athletic article, because I read the article and it sounded like you're a well-read man, because that's what Chandler Rome talked about today, was how they let 200 plus innings walk out the door. They've got Justin Verlander's on the shelf. I mean, you just look at the picture of the guys that are on the shelf, and it's like a milk carton box. It's like they're missing.
Have you seen me?
Yeah, exactly. Justin Verlander has one more rehab start, then he'll join the team. We know that. We have no idea how long this inflammation of the elbow for Framber Valdez will. They estimate that he's going to miss 2 starts. So Arrighetti probably has staying power in that they don't have anybody else to go to. And you hope maybe next, Arrighetti's obviously his next start would more than likely come at home. Maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's an easier atmosphere, but God, if it's against the Braves, your second outing, holy crap. No offense, Rangers, but I would rather face the Rangers than the Braves at this point. I mean, both offenses are formidable opponents.
Be careful what you wish for, Brett, because the Rangers and the Braves are coming.
No, that's why I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
I know, because his next start will be at home. Their next 2 series are the Rangers and the Braves. That's exactly why I'm saying that. And so that's who he's going to throw to next in his next start. So we just really need to weather this storm. We need to realize that there may be more rough waters ahead. And look, I'm not saying this is the way the season is going to go, but we may end up at the All-Star break under 500 and pull a Washington Nationals in 2019 and go out and win the World Series. I'm not going to count this team out until they're out. I'm not going to count this team out of the playoffs until they're out of the playoffs. I mean, some like jokingly, we got people sending them to Sacramento. It is bad, but it's not that bad. They have been somewhat of a disaster, but it's not that bad.
I just don't think that the Astros really got the insurance policy that for the bullpen this offseason like they should have. And we'll go ahead and continue this conversation. We'll talk a little bit more about Arrighetti's start and in a second.
Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Policy Genius. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time. Head to policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace that saves you time and money so you can provide your family with a financial safety net starting today. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million in coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Have you ever gotten any positive feedback from your audience about using policies from other companies? Well, I don't know, because when I talk to people that have used Policy Genius, I really believe that they are the ones to go with. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. Talk to a team, award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step. Your work life insurance policy may not offer enough protection for your family's needs. Even worse, it may not come with you if you leave your job. So Policy Genius gives you unbiased advice from licensed experts. So go to policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. Click on the link description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. And this episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is there for passion, drive, and patience. Well, you have to have patience right now with the way the Astros are playing. The formula for winning championships is not the way they're playing. But if you want to, with your ride or die, you go to eBay Motors. They have everything you need to maintain your vehicle, and leave it up to them to give you peak performance with superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts, that is, not just 122, but 122 million for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Unlike the Astros against the Royals, keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available for U.S. customers.
Hey, Brett, rumor has it is that we have a sister podcast out there right now. It's called Locked On Houston Sports, but specifically, it's called Locked On Astros Postcast.
That's right.
So it's going to be hosted by Mr. Michael Connor. So it's going to be after every Astros game. So I know you're like, but Eric and Brett, y'all do it after every game too. We do a little bit different. We talk, we take a deeper dive into what's going around with the Astros. If you can't get enough Astros talk, go ahead and subscribe to Locked On Houston Sports. It's not just about the Astros. It's about the Rockets, the Texans, and the Cougars. So go ahead and check out Michael Connor. He does a great job. I know he loves talking about the Astros losing just as much as we do. And so go ahead and support him. And he's a great guy. And we'll go and have him on the podcast as well every once in a while. And we'll go and join that as well. So go and make Locked On Sports Day your third listen as well. Go and they're also on Amazon Fire TV, and go ahead and subscribe to them, and 24/7 streaming platform on YouTube. So Brett, Arrighetti, the first 2 innings, he showed all the promise that you could want. He made Bobby Witt Jr. look like a minor leaguer. He looked pretty good in the first inning. He had 2 strikeouts. He looked like a confident guy. He had the poise. And then the third inning happened. And what happened was the Royals adjusted. They adapted. If you're a Star Trek guy, they're basically the Royals were the Borg. They adapted to the phasers, and that's what happened. And so I think as Arrighetti learns how to pitch in the major leagues, he's going to learn how to go a little bit deeper into games and adjust to the hitters as well.
Yeah, well, the hitters made an adjustment to him quite well. He just did not execute the pitches. As I've talked about before, a lot of times, you wonder, okay, who's to blame here? Well, Arrighetti's got to execute better. He started out well, but these are professional hitters. That's why it's called the major leagues. Look, whether you're in single A, high A, double A, triple A, you're a professional baseball player, but it's way different when you get up to the major leagues. And we've seen that, especially with 2 rookie pitchers getting exposed the way they did. Arrighetti has his work cut out for him. He's got to do his homework. He's got to go look where he's missing his pitches. He's got to think back to how he felt on the mound and just build on what successes and what good things were there and try to avoid the things when he wasn't there. But, another thing the Astros need to do is they need to freaking score runners when they're on base. Some incredible bad luck hits, hitting the ball really hard right on the button, but 2 people. People always complain about Tucker's swing. I've always wondered if there's any way to shorten his swing. I've always thought his swing was a little too long. But since the shift was over, we were told that his average would go through the roof. And I mean, it has at times, but he still seems to find the position players no matter where he hits the ball and when he hits the ball. And someone said it earlier, like we can't win games with Yordan Alvarez being our only consistent bat. Yordan Alvarez is locked in. He needs to get the team gathered around his bat. Maybe he needs to have a Yordan Alvarez bat made for each player and give it to him and say, look, I went to my locker. I blessed this bat. It is now yours. You have Yordan powers. And I don't know, get into some psyche. Grab the M&M pack like we did in school. Like if you get if you get a yellow, it's a double. If you get a blue, it's a triple. If you get a green, it's a home run. I mean, you got to try something. You got to shake things up. And all this calling for a Spada and he this and he that. Look, he's the manager. The team still has to go out there and perform. But really, not only this, Eric, but now you have Abreu, who is still next to nothing. John Singleton got his 3rd hit tonight, but it was a blooper into the outfield. And there's just so many issues that things are going so wrong right now. They have to turn around at some point. The law of averages is in the Astros' favor, and that's what we have to remember.
Yeah. So it seems like every move the Astros make, it backfires in this situation. And you drop down Abreu, and then of course he comes up with all the runners on base, even batting 8th. So if I want to go back to Arrighetti for a second, he threw 22 pitches in the first inning. He threw 43 pitches in the 3rd inning. The Royals sent 11 runners men to the plate in that. They scored 7 runs on 6 hits and 2 walks. So that was one of those very, very bad innings. That's the second time this week we saw a rookie pitcher do that. But something that, Brett, since you're a baseball guy, a baseball card collector, I don't know if you knew this, but he was wearing a special patch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Abreu back of the baseball card comment. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No. We're talking about Spencer Arrighetti.
I know.
So he's wearing the MLB debut patch. And so what they do is they put this on a baseball card, from what I understand, and it becomes part of the baseball card.
It's a 1-of-1 card. So if you get the MLB debut card, it's kind of like a superfractor. Unfortunately, Arrighetti's first start, his debut start, I don't know what the value will be on that, but it is a 1-of-1.
But what if it's his worst start ever and he goes on to be a superstar? It still could be worth something.
No, definitely. I know, they did that. Top started doing that. I think it was going on 2 years now, It's a genius idea. I love the idea, the fact that you get the patch that was literally on his jersey the first game that he played, a major league game. That is a really cool relic to take home if you're able to get that.
Do you know the 5 Astros players that have worn that patch?
Jeremy Pena.
No.
Jeremy Pena hasn't?
No. It's actually JP France, Corey Julks, Cesar Salazar, and the one and only Blair Henley.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't know why the other guys did not.
They must have done it after Jeremy Pena because I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, you would think they're going to do that with every rookie. Like
it's still game used. It's still, even Spencer Arrighetti is still average baseball player. That's still a very rare card.
It's still one of one. I'm just saying, I'm wondering if he went out and would have dealt. That right there probably would have upped the value quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt said they started it last year. Okay, that's why Pena. I couldn't remember if this was their first, second, or third year starting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really cool thing. Tops has some legit stuff, man.
So we'll have to continue on this Jose Abreu talk, because that's what everybody wants to talk about right now. And unfortunately, there's not much that the Astros can do about it unless they're just willing to just go ahead and make it rain money for nothing. So we'll go ahead and talk about that in a second.
That's right. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is the number one sports book in America. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. I don't know if you heard, but Tillman Fertitta is heating up the talks about an NHL team. That would be cool. And baseball's in full swing. Well, if you're the Astros, it's not exactly full swing right now. It's more like check, swing, and pop up. But FanDuel is your place to bet on every game right now. New customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. So if you would have lost tonight betting for the Astros, you would have got $150. Imagine that. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks. Well, maybe the Astros hits or slap shots. I digress. All on the app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and check out Michael Connor doing the Locked On Astros postcast with the Locked On Houston Sports podcast. It's a lot to say, but he does it after every game. He's going to try to do after as many Rockets games, Texans games, and Cougars games. So go and check him out. Go and check out us talk about the Astros. Go check him out. So we're glad to welcome him to the Locked On Astros family. And so we're now this. Are we stepbrothers now? Is that what we are?
No, we are just a conglomerate. We are a three-headed monster. But guys, let me just dispel this. Jose Abreu cannot be sent down. It was right. Can we? No. Jose Abreu is too far in his major league career. You do not send down a veteran unless he's on a rehab start. Jose Abreu is not going to be DFA'd. Jose Abreu is not going to be cut. Jose Abreu is not going to be traded. Jose Abreu, the best case scenario for fans that don't want him on the team is that somebody else shines. And Joey Loperfito's 38% strikeout rate does not play well in the major leagues. You don't need to bring him up early. But if he were to catch fire and reduce that strikeout rate and be here, you could put him on the bench. You could also say, not that he has a phantom injury, you could still say he's dealing with back stiffness and things like that, which he probably is on a daily basis. Because once you have a back problem, you get to a certain age, it's something that tends to follow you, not all the time. But yeah, someone says Abreu needs to figure it out. Look, prove us wrong. Well, you know who he wants to prove wrong himself, because he's probably
he's just as frustrated as we are. He is a professional.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We like to act like there's this microcosm of athletes who just sit there and they twiddle their thumbs and they sit on the toilet in between innings and go, oh, well, I'm still making millions of dollars. These guys have pride in what they're doing. These guys really want to go out there and win. They don't just not give a crap. I mean, don't be the fans from Fever Pitch who see Johnny Damon and Jason Varitek cutting up after a loss in a restaurant and go, they don't even care. Look at them. They're all happy. They just lost a game. I'm like, yeah, because they're the professional athletes and you're not. Yeah. Chill out on them. Jose Abreu, you know what he needs? You know what he needs when we come back? He needs a standing ovation like Trey Turner. He needs a standing ovation, not boos. He needs to feel the crowd behind him. Can we do that, Houston? Can we do that? Can we stop being jerks about everything? And can we just say, you know what, Jose Abreu, let's get behind you. Let's cheer you on. I mean, think about it. Yeah, a standing ovation. I'm serious, dude. I'm serious, Orange Drank. I'm serious.
I like the country twang you put on that. So I just looked it up I know it, but Jose Abreu has an NA in terms of options. He's got 10 years of service time.
You can't send a 10. I know. It's not even a conversation, guys.
Alex Bregman is an NA in terms of options too. You cannot send him down, and Jose Altuve as well. Not that you want to send down. Guys, but you know who you could send down? Alvarez. He has 3 options left.
Oh, stop it, Eric. Stop it, Eric. Okay, look, I like it, Brett. Someone said no. Okay, we're not listening to you. Sure, I will if it helps. Patricia's good. I'm not booing the guy. That's about as much positivity as I'll give him. Hey, I'll take that. Right. I'll take that. Okay. Might need a rest. Well, they don't have a rest because they've still got 20 games in 21 days. It's an insane. We're not driving in runs. Look, people are upset. Why not play Dubon at first? Because he's not a first baseman. Trust me. I'm just as bewildered at how bad this team's performing.
Right.
But when you look at when they do good, how good they are, it's insane. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I just don't know how long this pattern's going to continue.
He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. Joe Espada, yo, Joe.
All right. So this is what Joe Espada had to say about the whole situation. So Abreu did move down to the 8th hole today, and he had a conversation with him, and he said, I think he understands that he has some work to do, and we're doing what's best for the team. He's on board with that. And he said that he knows that he's not at his best right now when we're trying to do what's best for the situation we're in and trying to put him in position for him to succeed. And the same thing with the rest of our hitters. There's some matchups that are favorable for other hitters, and Jose Abreu is a pro, and he understands this. I want to see some confidence, somebody who believes he can hit. Jose Abreu is a really good hitter. He has been a really good hitter for a very long time, and I think once he starts getting some hits dropping for him, that confidence will build, and we'll start seeing the production out of him. Do you remember how hot he was in the last month and into the playoffs? This guy can be one of the best hitters in baseball, but for some reason, remember Dusty Baker's comment last year? Oh yeah, I called the White Sox, and the White Sox said, "Oh yeah, just wait for it." He gets off to a slow start. I still remember that conversation, like Dusty Baker. Yeah, this first baseman I bought for you doesn't work. Can I get a refund?
Yeah, it's really bewildering because Abreu is probably one of the better guys in the major leagues with his work off the field. He does with kids with special needs and stuff. He was endeared to that Chicago community, but we all know that that's not what wins baseball games. What wins baseball games, and look, I think the back of the baseball card comment, I think that probably needs to be the last time we hear that about Abreu, because if you look at the back of his baseball card and you look at his stats in 2024, 2023, since he's been with Houston, the back of his baseball card doesn't look good.
Right.
It's really more, what have you done for me lately? I mean, it's like when we saw Roger Clemens pitch to the Savannah Bananas. Now we know Roger Clemens wasn't throwing full steam and he wasn't prime Roger Clemens, but what did he do? He gave a home run, he gave a bunch of taters, gave a bunch of hits. Why? Because he's not at the top of his game. He's declined. So somehow mentally, Jose Abreu has got to find a place in his mind mentally where he can get up there and attack the baseball. Hopefully putting him in 8th, you have more opportunities to have men on base. And if they're on base, hopefully he brings those guys in. But
hey, Brett,
what's up?
Your RISP is showing.
Eric.
And the Astros RISP is sucking right now. The past couple games, 2 for 13 with men in scoring position. They stranded. They stranded 10 runners, and yes, Spencer Arrighetti gave up the 7 runs in the 3rd inning. But if you're not scoring any runs, you're not giving this kid any support. He gives up 1 run, 2 runs. He feels like he's got to go out there and be Superman.
Hey,
and he's trying to be perfect.
Mr. Wynn says, why don't we move Bregman down? Abreu 8th, Bregman 9th.
Bregman had 2 hard hit doubles today. He hit them both off the wall.
He did. You're right.
He had a sucky game yesterday, but he's coming.
True.
He's coming. The game before he had 3 hits. Yesterday he sucked. Today he's good.
Yes, he did. Well,
okay, every other day, good Bregman is good.
Between spaghetti for Arrighetti and his not so great start and that hippo. That's all we got for tonight. This has been a great show, Eric. Hey, y'all hang in there. Stay faithful. Stay true. Log into Locked On Astros. I'm so tired. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I'm out.
Yeah, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're like a robot. Oh, my God. You're just like Kyle Tucker's swing. Robotic.
Oh, shut up. Bye, guys.
Corn in the spaghetti.